You. So I'm doing this live. I don't expect nobody to come up in here and watch this. This is not like a trending topic or something that sounds interesting or anything like that. You know what I mean? So I didn't feel like recording and editing and going through all that. So I figured I can just do it live and then shout out to you, Carver Knows. Do it live and then it'll just be on there. People watch it on the playback if you so choose to. But with all the stuff that's going on, man, that been going on or whatever, just in general, just in goddamn general. I feel like we need a street clinic rehab, a rehab clinic, man. A lot of people don't realize that street life is just as addictive as smoking crack or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, if you know me now, if you knew me when I was younger, then knowing me now, it's like knowing two different people. You were like, this is a totally different Joker than I knew 20 years ago, even 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Especially 20, 30 years ago. But And the thing with me is that I'm from a place to where I'm not from like the roughest place, you know what I'm saying, the most toughest city. I'm not from the most violent place and stuff like that. But where I'm from is a place that everything was available. Everything was always available. I'm from the border of Pennsylvania and New Jersey, a little city called Easton, which is part of the Lehigh Valley. You know what I'm saying? The collective. Be probably like, why does Joker feel like he's obligated, that he got the ability to, talk to, yeah, don't forget, like Clyra Knows said, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and hit the bell. God damn it. But you might be like, oh, why does Joker feel like he got the right to, or he's qualified to da 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 da. So like I said, I'm not from New York, Philly, Baltimore, Camden, the worst places in the world on the East Coast. But where I'm from, I have a lot of experience with a lot of different people. That's one thing about me. Growing up where I grew up at, I feel like it gave me the opportunity to be up close and personal with a lot of different people because a lot of people from New York, Jersey would come to my town trying to make money and coming through my town. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was young, I grew up in the projects, and when I grew up, all the people that was doing all the stuff in the projects, people that was getting money, all that stuff was people that was from where I was born, where I'm from, the projects. Like around the early '90s, they came through and did a major sweep and locked up everybody in the projects. You know what I'm saying? So they locked up all the old heads, everybody who was out there getting money from Easton. All those people, they went to jail and they all got like 5 years and better. So a lot of these people was taken away. We didn't see them until we got older, most of them. So when that happened, it opened up um like a vacuum for a lot of people to start coming there from out of town, mostly from New York, to start trying to make money. You know what I'm saying? Because there's always a lot of fiends where I'm from, a lot of people using drugs. Because where I'm from, like I said, is the borderline of Jersey, but right above where I'm from, like 40 minutes away, is the Poconos. So you had a lot of people coming from the Poconos to buy drugs. A lot of white folks that got money coming from the Poconos to buy drugs. So it was always like a major spot where people used to come buy drugs. You know what I'm saying? I was to the point when I was young dealing with New Yorkers. I can identify a New Yorker. I can tell where the Joker's from, what part of New York he's from, where he came from. Put me around him for about 5 minutes, and I could tell what part of New York a Joker would be from. You know what I'm saying? I could tell if he's from Harlem, got the Harlem swag, the fast talking. You know what I'm saying? I could tell if a Joker came from New York, the grimy dudes. Joker looking like he's struggling and grimy, but he got a chain on that he probably snatched from somebody. You know what I'm saying? One thing about a Brooklyn dude back then, especially, no matter how ran down and out there he looked, he had somebody's chain on his neck. Believe that. A Brooklyn dude definitely had somebody's chain that he snatched if he couldn't afford to just buy it. You know what I'm saying? But stuff like that when I was young. So I have a lot of experience just dealing with a lot of different people. And then when I was young, like I said in the projects, which I still think was an experiment, they split the projects in half and shipped half of us to a white school and elementary school. So I grew up going to a white elementary school that was outside of the projects. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that gave me like an extra leg up when it comes to dealing with different types of people and personalities and stuff like that because the kids who didn't get bussed out to this white school where I'm from didn't get those same experiences as us that they sent out there. You know what I'm saying? So, and it was like going from night and day. It was a whole different world. You know what I mean? Like for me, where I'm from, I'm a person. I was like a spoiled kid in the projects. I was a kid that had a lot of stuff. My mom was, you know what I'm saying, doing whatever she was doing. I had what I had. I had what I needed and more. You know what I'm saying? When I was young. So then, as me being like a spoiled type of kid, and when I mean spoiled by in the projects, I mean like the kid that had the new shoes. You know what I'm saying? That type of stuff, just regular sports. So then, when I went to this white school, I was able to identify the different levels of kids over there because I can identify the kid out of the rich kids who was spoiled. You know what I'm saying? Spoiled like how I was, but on a much different level than I was. But I can spot them, but they can't spot me because as far as they're concerned, the rich kids I went to school with in that white school, as far as they're concerned, we're a bunch of niggas coming from the projects, poverty, poor, and that's just that. They look at us like that. But me coming from where I'm from, I can identify the me out of them. I can identify who like the spoiled rich kid was by how other kids uh congregated around them or just the conversation, like little stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And also I feel like I got a better education going there because when I moved when I was in fifth grade, and by then I moved, and then I went to the school that the other kids that I grew up with, the hood school. You know what I'm saying? I went to that school in fifth grade when I got back, and when I got to that school, because I moved somewhere different, and the rate that they was learning, they was teaching them at a much lower rate. The stuff I was doing in the white school in like second and third grade and fourth grade, I was doing in the hood school in fifth grade. So that taught me something right there. I'm like, I knew where you're from and where you go to school, shit like that matters because they teach kids different. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's an economic thing. It's a whole system that's in place for stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? So I said all that to say, but yeah, I have a lot of different experiences. I've been through a lot of stuff myself. I seen jokers come and I seen jokers go. You know what I'm saying? I've been around the best. I've been around the worst. Bumped heads with the best and the worst. Won some, lost some. You know what I'm saying? Dealt with people from, like I said, New York, all over the place. People from all kind of different places. Like the place where I'm from, it's easy to be whoever you want to be in the small city. So I understand small city mentality. People, you can easily be who you want to be when you're from a small city. You want to be a gangster, you go out there, run around, do a couple things, be seen, people, and carry yourself like that, and people will, you know what I'm saying, accept you as such. But then when you have to deal with people from different realms, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't really I don't want to say can't really because it's not like a competition that was the objective, but until you come in contact with other people who are from real serious situations, you know what I'm saying? Then you be like, then you get to kind of see of like there was a time in my life when I thought I was like the toughest person in the world. You know what I'm saying? As ridiculous as it sounds. Like I said, if you knew me when I was younger, my mind was, but I wasn't even really, I wasn't raised like that as far as like in my household type raised like that. Even though I grew up in the projects, like I said, drugs were everywhere. You can't escape it. You go outside, it's everywhere. You know what I'm saying? People's houses boarded up. We go outside, we see our friend's house boarded up. We know the police ran into their house the night before, locked their parents up, raided the house, it was boarded up. So shit like that was like normal. You know what I'm saying? But like they say, you don't even realize that the condition you're in until you go somewhere else. Because even no matter how bad it is where you're from, it's normal to you. You know what I'm saying? So as you go through this type of stuff and you eventually come to being who you think you're going to be around teenager stuff like that, because you go through different identities, different phases, different lives, different things, different goals, then you get like your first type of like, I say your second identity that you want, because the first identity comes when you're like 5, 10, that kind of age. You probably want to be a football player, want to be a doctor, want to be something like that. You know what I'm saying? A movie star, whatever. Then when you get into your teens, you come into your adolescence. Then you have like the second thing you want to be, and that's the thing. That's the time when most people turn to the street life when it comes to the second thing they imagine themselves being. The first thing is like a childhood fantasy, like, you know what I'm saying? You don't even, but by the time you get to your adolescence, when you start going outside, that's when the second thing that you want to be comes into you. And that's where people go wrong at the second person that they think they're going to become. That's where most of us get our first criminal charge. Like me at 12 years old, I got my first charge. It was a felony. Got in trouble, stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying? Started experimenting, smoking weed, cigarettes, all that type of stuff. And then before you know it, one thing leads to another. You know what I mean? One thing leads to another. You start off maybe smoking weed. I remember the first time I smoked some weed and then came home, I was paranoid. You know what I'm saying? My shirt felt like my shirt smelled like weed. I hid it in the closet, all that type of stuff. My mom didn't notice. So once you do that the first time, you get a little bit more like, all right, then I do it again, and then gets easier and easier and easier. Then before you know it, you're just doing what you're doing. First time I started selling drugs when I was young, the first time I had some a piece of whatever on me, you paranoid, like damn, you felt like every cop that drove by just knew you had on, just knew it was on you. You know what I'm saying? It just feels real weird. But then you make a couple of sales, a couple of days go by, before you know it, it just becomes part of your uniform. It's in your pocket. You feel weird if you don't got it after that. You know what I'm saying? So then you progress through that, and that just keeps going. That becomes normal. Like I said, when you start being this person on your second goal, like the second thing you want to be in life is around a time when all this time your brain is still just developing. So if you start doing this certain type of stuff young enough, before you know it, you get trapped into the mind state of your mental, your endorphins, everything in your mind, the things that you identify with happiness, all starts being connected to the lifestyle you're living. And before you know it, you're trapped into the street life. You know what I'm saying? You wake up one day, you realize, damn, I'm trapped into the street life. You don't even know how to get out of it at that point. You know what I'm saying? You're just trapped in the street life. So as you go, and this is the thing about making mistakes. Kids are supposed to be allowed to make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Young people are supposed to be allowed to make mistakes, but when it comes to minorities, a lot of us make fatal mistakes real young. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the times you just got to live long enough to get enough experience and wisdom to get past certain stuff. If there was a time in my life I would have never thought I would have been able to get past a certain mind state that I used to be in. It was all I used to live for. You know what I'm saying? It was all there was to live. It was nothing else on my mind except being a certain type of person. It's what fueled, you know what I'm saying? Everything is just what it was. And then you start getting locked up. You know what I'm saying? I went to locked up first time I was what, 13, 14. I think I was 13 maybe. First time I went to juvenile detention, 13 or 14. Then you go there, but before you even do that, you already hear stories from your friends going there. They tell you all how oh we was over, we was chilling and da 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 da. Da. They tell you all about how the food. They tell you about the juice, how to get the juice. They tell you everything. The CEOs in there that are cool. This person, that person, this person. So then by the time you go there, you want to go there. You can't wait to get there. Actually, you know what I'm saying? As ridiculous as it sounds, you can't wait to go there for the first time, so you can have this same experience that your friends that was telling you about it. Because now you feel like until you go there, you're not real, as they call it. You're not part of the cloth yet because you didn't get locked up yet. That type of stuff. So now it's a goal. You can't wait to get locked up to go to experience it. So you can come back and then tell other people about the same shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I was in there and da 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 da, and we was doing this and that and that and this. And then that becomes normal. So before you know it, like for me, I ended up got locked up the first time when I was 13, 14. I was stuck in the system from 13, 14 till about, damn, how old was I? 13, 14 until it had to be 18, 19. Yeah, 18, 19. The first time I got a charge and was stuck on probation and locked up, in and out of lockup, go to juvenile, come back, boot camp, back, rehab one time, back, I caught with weeds, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then I was out of the system. I became an adult, you know what I'm saying? Because I was locked up the last time I was a juvenile. I think I turned 18 when I was in there, and I got out at 18. And then yeah, I think that's how it went. So I was off paper, off everything for like a couple of years until I turned, I think, 19, 20. And I caught a gun charge, I think, when I was 19. It was 2000, the year 2000. Yeah, so I was 19 when I caught a gun charge. I got caught with a gun. No, but before I got caught with a gun, actually, I got caught with some drugs. I was 19, and I was out on bail for that. And then got caught with a gun while I was out on bail for a drug charge. This is when I was. This is in the year 2000. So then again, I was right back at it. 'Cause even I was out on bail for the drugs. Then I got caught with the gun. I still hadn't. I still didn't go to court yet to resolve the drug charge. But then when I got locked up, I got resolved all at the same time. They ran it together since I had two charges pending. Ended up doing 18 months. They ran my charges together 18 months, which I really supposed to have got out. Got it ran concurrent, but they had something called a PSI, pre-sentence investigation, which they used my juvenile record. Like I told you, remember I said I had a juvenile charge when I was 12 years old, a felony. So they brought that up and used it against me to sentence me as a as an adult, my juvenile record, which was unheard of. That I didn't know they can do that shit. So I had a co-defendant. He ended up doing only 9 months and got out. But like I said, his case was different. He didn't have the same judge I had. Plus, he didn't have the other case I had, like pending. So he did 9 months and got out. I ended up doing 18 months, a state sentence to a county. Had to get a green sheet and all the stuff to come home. So I did that. So I did 18 months, and I was home for 1 month exactly. Then I went back for 13 more months. Caught a violation. Came right back hustling. Had a fiend's car. Police tried to stop me. I ended up pulling off, going on like a little, not really a chase, but just kind of fleeing. So I got a fleeing charge because I didn't stop right away because I had something on me, so I wanted to get rid of it. Then I pulled over, so ended up going back for 13 more months. Then I got out from that. So my original sentence was 7 to 48 months, which I don't even know why the seven was there because by the time I got sentenced, I already had like a year or like 9 months in. So altogether, I did about 2.5 years on that charge. Got out, still had like what, a year and a half, almost 2 years to walk off on parole. Had state parole, so I got out, got that off. But that was way back then. You know what I'm saying? This is back in like 2004, I guess it would have been, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So the whole time going through this and that and that and this, living through life, all you doing is still just doing nonstop nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Street stuff, going through just all type of different stuff that's not even necessary. You know what I'm saying? The worst stuff you can possibly think of. You know what I'm saying? Just stupid. And this people don't understand about selling drugs and hustling is that when you hustle is more addictive when you sell drugs than it is for people that use drugs. Believe it or not, it's actually more addictive for people who sell drugs than it is for people who use drugs. I would say at least about the same. If it's not more, it's about the same. Because once you're used to living like that, you can't even picture another different way. So there's a point in my time since I was a teenager up until I went, like I said, in and out of jail, in and out of juvenile, and started going to jail. And all those years, once you get caught in that mind state, literally the only thing you do, the only thing you think about, like my life back then was only consist of making sales all day long, selling drugs, smoking weed. I was so paranoid of missing anybody that came through to buy something from me that all the money I was making back then in my 20s, all the stuff I was doing, I never even enjoyed none. I never even got a chance. I never even went nowhere. I was so paranoid. I was so stuck in the little world I was in. I was scared to leave the area because I didn't want to take a chance of missing nobody who came through to buy something. Because that was how I got the people I got. You know what I'm saying? People not around, and I run into their people, and then you know what I'm saying. Take them from them. Then now I got them. You know what I'm saying? Now then I put them on the phone. It was like after the fact. At first, you be in spots, the projects, wherever you hustle at, you sitting in a spot and all that type of stuff. Once that got hot, I put people on the phone and I was hustling off the phone. I don't really want to get into all the details of like that type of part because I don't want to try to make it sound like I'm like glorifying the other side of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to glorify the part. I'm just trying to talk about the part to where you navigate through this shit to get yourself out of this mind state. And a lot of people, what I realized for myself is that it takes years and years and years to be able to start. You got, like I said, you got to live long enough sometimes. Sometimes it's only about just living long enough to be able to get out of that mind state because it really is it really is like a spell you're under when you're under the street life mind state. You really are under a spell because you only see everything through the scope of the streets. Everything that comes through your life, you only see it through the scope of the streets. Ignorance, you know what I'm saying? Um, all of it, everything that comes along with it, you only see stuff through that scope. But in reality, once you get out of that mind state, like they say, if you can go back and do stuff over, how the different things you would do, it's like once I finally got myself totally out of the street, totally out of all that type of life, out of that mind state, the and even then you never can really relax because the stuff that you did when you was out there can always catch up to you at any time, regardless of what it is. You know what I'm saying? Any kind of beef you was in, any type of stuff you might have done, anything you might have whatever, always a chance that it comes back and bites you at any given time. You know what I'm saying? You never can actually rest, but you do get a little, at least a little bit of rest when you finally get out of the mind state. Like, all right, I'm done with this. I don't got to do this. And I told this story before. The thing that really made me stop altogether, you know what I'm saying, hustling. Before I stopped, I was already thinking about stopping. But the thing that actually made me stop, and I talked about this, is one day. The hell is that? The ring? God damn, it must be pouring out there. I don't know if y'all can hear that over this, but one day I had some work on me, and I think I was supposed to see somebody. Maybe they changed their mind or cancel or whatever. But whatever the case was, I ended up having a couple of little things on me in my pocket. Went to the grocery store. You know what I'm saying? Went to the grocery store and came back and realized that it wasn't in my pocket. So I started panicking. I'm like, oh shit, I must have dropped it in it because went to the self checkout line. I remember this shit clear in my mind. Went to the self checkout. You know what I'm saying? Paid for my stuff, left. So in my mind, I'm like, damn, I must have dropped it at the self checkout. So it's probably on camera. They probably saw me drop this shit out my pocket. I thought I was done. I'm like, damn, because I never lose work in my whole life. I might have lost. That was like the second time I ever even misplaced any kind of work because I'm always checking my pockets. I'm paranoid like that. So I'm always making sure I got what I'm supposed to have. And yo, I thought dropped it in this line at the self checkout. So I'm like, damn, I'm done. This is gonna be on camera. At this point, I had shit to lose. You know what I'm saying? I started living a different transition to a different type of life, doing other stuff. So I'm like, damn, I'm done. So I got in my car, drove back over to the I went to the grocery store, then I went to the gas station, then I came home. So my heart is pounding. I'm like, damn. So I stopped at the gas station first because that's on the way to the grocery store. Then I got to the gas station and it was sitting right there on the gas station on the floor. You know what I'm saying? There was a dude in front of it and like a little bit in front of it, the pump I was at and the other pump, but he didn't see it. It was sitting right there. So when I got there and seen it, it was such a feeling of remorse. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, man, it was such a feeling of goodness to be relieved that I seen it right there. But now I gotta like get it in front of this dude. But I wasn't even worried about him. I walked up right in front of him. He wasn't even paying attention to me anyway. But I walked up, snatched that shit up, put it in my pocket, and bounced. At that point, even if he seen it, I didn't even give a damn. I was like, he's whoever he is. But the feeling that I got from when I found it, it was such a feeling of relief. And then I thought about it. I'm sitting there like I almost got caught up for a reason that I didn't get caught in no setup. It wasn't no CI. It wasn't no, know what I'm saying? Wasn't no buying, but it wasn't nothing. It wasn't nothing besides some negligence of my own. Dropped it out of my pocket by accident. So I'm sitting there like I felt such relief. I was like, I don't never want to feel like this again. Know what I'm saying? Like out of all the shit I've been through, for whatever reason, that time, that day was the day I was like, what do I got to do to not do that again? Then it occurred to me. I said the way to avoid that is to just not fuck around no more, leave shit alone, and don't even hustle no more. So I never bought nothing again after that. Once I had then got that was gone, never turned back, never picked it up again, never bought nothing again, and that was just that. That's what it took for me. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, I was a little bit older, so I was looking at life different. Things was different. But that's what did it for me. After all this that I've been through, I'd have been through all type of shit. You know what I'm saying? But everybody don't get lucky to be able to get that turning point in their life. You know what I'm saying? It don't happen for everybody. But the way to get up out of that is you gotta relax. You gotta sometimes stuff has to just happen. I can't even tell you exactly how to do it. But one thing to do, like even with smoking weed and stuff like that, people are just so stuck in the same mind state and the same. I never would have thought I would have stopped smoking weed. Like never. My life all day when I was young, my whole 20s before that and a little bit after was nothing but hustling every day, making sales and smoking weed. That's all we used to do every day, all day, nonstop. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta learn how to the first thing you gotta do is learn how to be bored. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get used to being bored. You gotta learn how to be not giving yourself having pleasure all the time. Calm down. That's the hardest hurdle to get over. You gotta readjust the senses in your mind that give you happiness. You know what I'm saying? If you're used to smoking weed every day or drinking and stuff like that, it's going to be hard to stop doing that. But you got to figure out other things that make you feel, for lack of a better word, happy, content. You got to find other things that make you feel good. You know what I'm saying? Because that's essential to trying to get yourself together to get out of this mind state and the street life mind state. So that's just like one little part of like an overlook of what I'm talking about when I say the street life. Of course, there's a bunch of different levels, a bunch of different stuff. You just said, "Hey, gay, big." Sure the hell that's supposed to mean. So there's like different levels of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Folks, he's a stripper. Oh goddamn stripper! Fuck out of here. Shit, I should be. Goddamn it! Should make some goddamn money. But not a stripper. I ain't never been. No, you must got the wrong fucking person. But like I was saying, if you there's different levels to it. Of course, if you was in the streets on different levels, there's people out here. You might be on the level of beefing, gunplay, stuff like that. All kind of different type of other stuff. I'm here trying to talk about some real stuff. You got people in here, you know what I'm saying? Stupid shit. It's all you twerking. Get you the hell up out of here. Get you so goddamn dumb. I don't even know how to reach people and all that shit. But yeah, like there's different levels to it, of course, different ways, different things are harder. You know what I'm saying? If you in the street life, you got this stuff like this Julio stuff going on, Young and Ace, the drill rap, and it's like everything is just so much more different and deeper and just worse than it been. And the deeper you are, of course, it's harder to get yourself out of those type of mind states. It's a harder type of thing. You know what I'm saying? It's just everything is just different. So the first thing you got to realize is black folks, we spend too much money, wasting money on stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? When I was young, a lot of the stuff, the money we was making, all the stuff we was doing, money that was just wasted and thrown away, making money to not even know what to do with the money. That's the big thing a lot of us do now. Make money, we don't even know what to do with the money, buying Christian Dior and all the Gucci and all the biggest, all that stupid shit. That shit, man, you gotta get up out of that mind state too. That's a big part of not being able to prevail. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get out of the mind state of just fucking wasting stuff. Black folks, we go through so much stuff. We just waste. We're the most wasteful, consuming people on the planet. You gotta get out of the mind state of just being such a consumer and just wasting stuff and throwing stuff away. Stop, Luna. Stop. Stuff like that. Because once you get trapped in that mind state, that's also as addictive as selling as doing drugs and being in a drug and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Oh my god, this dude in here is the stupid ass. This is what's wrong with people too, man. You can't just be, you know what I'm saying? There's always jokers coming in with just nonsense, man. What exactly I ain't even gonna deal with you, pay attention to you. But and it's just as years go on, time goes on, it gets worse and worse and just harder and harder to just keep looking at the same stuff that's going on. And you be like, damn. Why won't people just wake the hell up? You know what I'm saying? Why people can't just wake up? Like I was saying, the deeper you're in it, when you're in certain levels, different levels of like the streets, it's harder to get out. And once you get caught into like the deep part of the streets, unfortunately for some people, they gotta go through. I feel like sometimes we feeling like people have to get locked up. Like part of being, you know what I'm saying? I think people I think being locked up should be part of like school. I think everybody should have to get locked up for like a week to be part of like growing up in school. You know what I'm saying? So that would stop a lot of people from making certain choices and making certain decisions. A lot of people just have to have that gate slammed on them one time to be, you know what I'm saying? I think that would do it for a lot of people. Will straighten a lot of people up because a lot of people were not realizing the risk they're taking by doing certain shit before you even get locked up. People are making fatal mistakes that they're not even thinking about because they're not even aware of how that even works. You know what I'm saying? You're just doing crazy stuff, and it's unfortunate, man. It's really unfortunate. Let me see where his likes is at. If there's likes on here at all, I can't see if there's likes or not. But if there's likes, if there ain't no likes, hit the goddamn like button if you have been here. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. So I'm gonna start doing these little clinics. I'm gonna call little rehab sessions. Come on here, talk about certain stuff. You know what I'm saying? Of course, people don't like positivity, positive stuff, everything. People want to see negative stuff or the trending topics. Nobody want to be hearing about trying to be, you know what I'm saying, positive and all this type of shit. But you got to start somewhere, man. You got to start somewhere, trying to do something, trying to put a different type of message out there to for people. You got to try some different shit we ain't tried before. You know what I'm saying? You just never know who might hear it, who it might influence, who it might get to the next step where they trying to go. You know what I'm saying? So that's about it, man. I'm gonna come back with something different. Keep these sessions going. Shout out to everybody that came through. Carver knows much love to you as usual. And everybody.